This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Good evening. I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. Muncie residents say they're looking forward to new leadership after the mayor was arrested by the FBI.
Muncie Mayor Dennis Tyler faces a federal charge of theft of government funds. Earlier this year, the FBI conducted several raids across Muncie connected to a long-running investigation of Tyler and the city's sanitary district. 76-year-old Tyler had already chosen to step down as mayor this year. Muncie taxpayers say they are fed up with the alleged corruption.
Just hope the new mayor did a big job.
For the City of Muncie employees who are burdened by the string of news stories about the current administration, please know that I share with you your commitment to operate the City of Muncie in a way that promotes the welfare of all. I look forward to working on transition issues with the current city employees as we prepare to start a new chapter on January 1st, 2020.
That was Mayor-elect Dan Ridenhour, who is set to take over at Muncie City Hall. Several other parties were indicted and arrested today as part of the multi-year ongoing investigation by the FBI. A tentative trial date has been set for January.
New at 7, Hamilton County is hoping to save lives through a new emergency response service called Smart 911.
Troy Washington is working for you with a look at how important it is to make sure first responders get all the info they need during a crisis.
Saving lives is the goal by bringing Smart 911 to Hamilton County, and Jody Schwind knows all too well why being able to provide much-needed information to first responders matters.
About a year ago, my nephew, Kyle Plush, called 911 twice in an emergency situation in Cincinnati. He was not found.
Plush tried to call 911 by using his iPhone's voice-activated Siri after getting trapped inside of a minivan at school. He died waiting on help. That's why she's on board with getting as many people signed up for Smart 911 as possible.
80% of the emergency phone calls come in through a mobile phone. And without Smart 911, when you make that phone call, that person on the other end of the phone answering your call knows nothing about you.
By making a profile, users can give as much information as they are comfortable providing. They can share a picture of their home, contact numbers for family members, even passcodes to give first responders access to their home during an emergency. Now people have the power to share as little or as much as they'd like with those on the way to help. A feature that might have helped save Plush. The recent rollout of Smart 911 gives her peace of mind on her quest. She feels better knowing first responders will have the extra information they need to help them know where to go and how to help and who else to call once they arrive.
I would encourage everybody to take the 5 minutes to download the app or go to the website and input just basic information about yourself or your family.
Dispatchers typically find themselves relying on getting a hit off of a cell phone tower to figure out the latitude and longitude to find the caller. But Smart 911 allows people to simply enter their address. Jeff Sheemer says everything shared on the app stays hidden unless there's ever an emergency situation.
Now, granted, this is all secure. We have no way to go in and search this. The only way we have access to it is when they dial 911.
Working for you in Hamilton County, Troy Washington, RTV6.
Thank you, Troy. Now taking a live look outside at Monument Circle. It's all lit up out there, Kevin.
We've been stuck at 38 degrees for 5 straight hours now. Monument Circle looking good, isn't it? We've got some drizzle and mist across central Indiana. And temperatures will continue to be steady for the next several hours. That wind out of the west, generally 5 miles per hour. Okay, want to show you upstream what's going on. Some very light rain in portions of Illinois. It's here, the push of deeper moisture that will bring with it the chance for rain tomorrow morning. May mix with a melting snowflake north of Indy and keep the clouds around. Our visibility is improving in the western portion of the state. You can see around the edges 10-mile visibility, otherwise 3 miles or less in spots with the drizzle, fog, and low clouds. 40 in Bloomington, 42 in Evansville. Temperatures to the north, only 3 degrees cooler. Today, we only had an 8-degree temperature range from morning low to afternoon high. Typically, that would be a 17-degree jump. In the morning, grab your umbrella. Showers develop. Temperatures move from the lower 30s into the low 40s mid to late morning. There, 10 a.m., not much happening. Shower chances increase from the west through the morning into the early afternoon. We'll go through that timeline and talk about why Thursday sticks out in the 7-day planner.
Kevin's back with us in just a few minutes. See you then. Random acts of vandalism in Broad Ripple are costing people hundreds of dollars and their peace of mind.
RTV6 is trying to get answers after several people reported their car windows getting smashed in within a small area in Broad Ripple. It happened sometime overnight Saturday into Sunday. Neighbors in the area of 64th and Park say this part of town is typically pretty quiet, and they say finding a mass amount of vandalism like this is truly disheartening.
It's definitely very frustrating because with the holidays coming up, this is now an expense that comes out of our pocket because it's not worth it to report it to insurance for this type of thing.
If you live in the area, you're urged to check your security cameras. The city has a program called B-Link where you can register your camera so investigators know where to go look for footage. If there's a problem in your community that needs to be addressed, you can connect with RTV6 and we'll try to help. Send us a message at workingforyou@rtv6.com, or you can reach us on Facebook.
A big blow to one of the top boys basketball programs in Central Indiana. Southport High School has been barred from this season's state tournament because of a recruiting violation involving an international player. The IHSSA says Southport boys coach Eric Brand violated the rules when he paid the tuition of a student from the Democratic Republic of Congo who is a prospective player on his team. In addition to Southport being out of the state tournament, that player will be ineligible for this upcoming season. And the Perry Township School District released a statement this afternoon which says, quote, Perry Township schools in Southport High have been cooperative and fully transparent throughout the IHSSA investigation. We are disappointed in the commissioner's findings and will evaluate our right to appeal portions of the report and penalties.
We may still have 6 weeks left in this decade, but Indiana lawmakers are now looking ahead to 2020. We're getting our first look at the top priorities next year for the Indiana Senate Democrats. A few items on their to-do list: fair and just redistricting, the safe storage of firearms, and the decriminalization of marijuana possession under 1 ounce. Legislators say they also want to address funding issues brought into the public eye by Red for Ed as educators demand changes in Indiana schools.
So they've had to pass referendums and what have you. And here we are with a $2.4 billion surplus. That's right. And it's hard to explain to public educators why it is that the state can't do something to help them. And I have a hard time understanding that as well.
Those 3 items we mentioned, redistricting, decriminalization of marijuana possession, and firearms storage, are initiatives Democrats say they are unanimous in pushing this session.
Thousands of teachers are expected to make demand at the State House tomorrow as lawmakers return to step up their legislative agendas for the new year.
Indiana public school teachers want to be on that agenda. Tomorrow's Red for Ed rally is focused on 3 top issues. They include better pay for teachers, not allowing districts to use iLearn testing results, which have been criticized, to evaluate teachers in school grades, and the push to repeal the externship requirement that would force teachers to do work outside the classroom in order to renew their teaching license.
And we spoke to the president of the statewide teachers union today on Good Morning Indiana.
We want to make sure that our lawmakers know and understand how important this problem is to us. That the over 1 million students that are in our public schools in Indiana deserve the absolute very best education, and that's what we're working for.
The governor says his office is seeking to ensure Indiana attracts and retains top teachers. The governor launched a commission this year to make recommendations on teacher pay in 2020. He used $150 million in state reserves to pay off a pension liability that had been funded by schools, and the governor's office says school districts can use that money to help with teacher salaries. Holcomb also signed a 2-year budget which included $763 million in total new money for K through 12 education. Plus, the governor says he is also opposed to using the results from the new iLearn test to be used to evaluate teachers or determine school grades.
RTV6 will bring you live coverage of the Red for Ed rally tomorrow at the State House. Our coverage begins during Good Morning Indiana, and it will continue throughout the day on RTV6, live on the RTV6 app and on the RTV6 Facebook page.
Coming up, some expectant moms are trying out something new when they hop in the car to avoid the discomfort of regular seatbelts. We look into whether it's safe.
Plus, it's a program that has successfully stopped Grinches during the holiday season. How Holiday Helper is keeping your home safe this Christmas. This is the news at 7 on RTV6.
Shines on Toy Drive at theindychannel.com.
Welcome back. Seatbelts are a requirement every time you get in the car.
But sometimes for pregnant women, they can get uncomfortable. That's why moms and soon-to-be moms are turning to a new option.
Our Annie Taylor investigates whether it's safe to use.
It's twins this time, so that's definitely going to be an adventure.
Moms-to-be Leah and Kira Rummold are excited for the babies to arrive, but are taking extra precautions.
For high-risk pregnancy, it's a lot different when you've got twins.
Besides diapers, cribs, and clothes, they went as far as purchasing a maternity seatbelt for Kira. Yes, a seatbelt to fit around the baby bump.
We saw some disturbing images, what it could look like if there were to be an accident or like an abrupt stop, what would happen with a regular seatbelt covering over the belly.
OBGYN Dr. Beth Caraway says worrying is the most common feeling among mothers.
Whether it's a standard uncomplicated pregnancy or a pregnancy that's more high risk, all of a sudden women start to worry about the things that we do in everyday life and wonder if those things are safe for them.
For Leah and Kira, the maternity seatbelt was never something they thought of until they saw it on Amazon. And it was less than $25, so they decided to give it a try.
The seatbelt is a regular seatbelt, but the bottom part, it like hooks in between the legs. Versus covering the belly.
The couple knows a maternity seatbelt might be considered extreme, and Dr. Beth Caraway says be careful when purchasing certain safety products.
There are so many things out there, and it can be really hard to know what's correct on, the product's website.
Besides reading reviews on the product, Dr. Caraway suggests always consulting your doctor before making a purchase like this. And to remember, a baby is safest in the belly.
Babies are inside of the amniotic sac, which is also inside of the uterus, which is, a very thick muscular wall that provides a lot of protection for growing babies.
Wearing a standard seatbelt while pregnant is Dr. Caraway's recommendation, solely because not enough studies have been done on the safety of maternity seatbelts. But she knows that moms need to do what's right for their baby. And for Leah and Kira, it gives them peace of mind.
Life's so short and valuable, and we don't want anything to happen to these little babies or baby mama.
I'm Annie Taylor reporting.
Coming up here on 6, the tariffs were meant as an America First policy, but with Americans still feeling the strain on their wallets and their businesses, we examine how tariffs are hitting your bottom line.
And cooler temperatures will be on the move out of the Great Lakes. You can see the expansion of milder temperatures to our west. We'll talk about our warming trend coming up.
Come take a test drive at Honda of Fishers.
This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
A recent study by J.P. Morgan found U.S. tariffs will cost the average American household $1,000 a year.
And they've led to a rise in prices in groceries and household products like clothes, shoes, and yarn.
Our Alicia Nieves shows you how tariffs are affecting small businesses.
And how are you doing? Did you find everything you needed?
2/3 of Americans say owning a small business is part of their American dream.
Do you do necklaces with that?
7 years ago, in the small town of Sharon, Pennsylvania,
You'll love it.
Carla Infante made that dream a reality.
It was frightening. After I got everything all set up for the grand opening, I thought, what if nobody comes?
Despite that fear, that was never her problem.
That is actually considered a chunky yarn because it's fibrous and it's fluffy.
Knitting and crocheting enthusiasts have been flocking here ever since Never Enough Yarn opened.
That's all cotton there too.
Either for her variety.
The yarns here are garment quality yarns.
Or her knitting nights.
I have people who come regularly every Thursday night for our knitting group. Sometimes we knit and drink coffee. Sometimes we get a bottle of wine out instead of the coffee.
Sharing of patterns, ideas, and getting to know people.
It's been amazing.
As amazing as it has been to have a loyal customer base and consistent demand, Never Enough Yarn is closing.
The internet has really done a lot of injury to local small businesses, but when they put the tariffs in, that really pushed me over the edge.
There have been a half-dozen rounds of tariffs imposed on Chinese goods over the past year and a half. The latest have really affected businesses like Infante's. The price of all her yarn and knitting supplies has had to go up. For example, just one knitting needle in her shop has gone up by $2 in less than a year.
First, it was, we'll wait and see. I thought when the first 50 cents came on each package of needles, it's like, we can live with that. I didn't realize it was going to keep coming. When that dollar came, it was like, I can't I can't survive, and I just can't pass this on.
So before a new round of tariffs hit, she's ending this chapter of her American dream.
I made it 7 years, and I would have liked to have stayed a little longer, but I also know when it's time to go.
A lot of shops are struggling, not just Carla. We had one in Grove City. She went out of business. It's heartbreaking to see this go. It really is.
Analysts expect continued higher tariffs on Chinese goods could lead to 12,000 more retail businesses closing within the next year.
The one thing I'd like to say to most people is if you don't believe it's happening, take a closer look, because it is. And if it hasn't affected you yet, keep your eyes open, because it's going to. It's going to affect everyone at some point.
And you learned that the hard way.
I learned it the hard way.
I'm Alicia Nieves.
And coming up on December 15th, President Trump's administration is set to impose another round of tariffs, 15% this time, on about $160 billion worth of imports.
Time for your Storm Team 6 forecast, and just a dreary Monday out there today.
Just gross.
Nothing like that to get your week going.
Oh, right. A dreary Monday.
I know. Every day is a great day for me, though. You know,
great day.
I'm just saying.
I get what you're doing.
All right, cloud cover around and occasional drizzle. Nothing real heavy, just enough that maybe the intermittent wipers are needed occasionally. We may have some breaks in the cloud cover through the overnight hours, but in general, the clouds are going to win out in the tug of war, and we'll have more widespread rain showers at some point tomorrow morning. Temperature right now in Castleton, 38, 37s in quite a few spots, from Plainfield to Zionsville, Fishers to Greenfield. Temperature in Martinsville also at 37. Just want to show you the warmer air will arrive. We'll step it up a little bit tomorrow. The noticeable change starts Wednesday. Then on Thursday, temperatures will peak in the middle 50s to upper 50s. There's where the warm air sits now, west of the Mississippi. And as the storm system winds up, the wind will increase. These are lines of equal pressure, and the more lines you see on there, the tighter the pressure gradient and the stronger the wind. Think of that low pressure area as just kind of a hole in the atmosphere. The deeper the hole, the faster the air rushes in to fill it. But at least through Thursday, that's drawing warmer air into the state. That will change once the cold front moves through. Temperatures go up, and what goes up must come down. 44 as we get to Friday for the high temperature. That's after a 57 on Thursday. Let's break down tomorrow's forecast. We'll start temperatures just above freezing. I'll mention, depending on the timing of the showers, starts early enough, we may mix in some snowflakes, especially northern half of the state. Temperature by noon 42, and afternoon temperature about 47. The rain threat will be pushing into the eastern half and eastern third of the state by the time we get to the afternoon. Cloud cover around in the morning, showers through the early afternoon, and I'd say as we get to 4 o'clock, a little more widespread between 4 and 7. In the eastern portion of the state. Temperatures tomorrow, we didn't make it out of the 30s today, so if we make it into the upper 40s tomorrow, that's okay. 50 on Wednesday, a dry day on Wednesday. I'll just point out the strong wind, as I mentioned, overnight Wednesday into Thursday. A strong, warm wind that will start to raise the temperatures into the upper 50s. Not quite on Wednesday. We get to 50 degrees and we go warmer from there. Also, though, as we transition to cooler temperatures, you can see the rain lining up to the west Thursday morning. That makes rain likely during the day on a Thursday. Windy, mild and wet Thursday, dry and much cooler Friday. And we'll wait and see on Saturday. Right now, put in a 30% chance of a rain-snow mix, but some of the models keep that weather system well to our south.
As we inch closer,
we'll play it safe for now.
We'll see, yeah. Thanks, Kevin.
Well, still ahead, the holidays are a time for giving, but this is one initiative committed to making sure Grinch doesn't take. How IMPD's Holiday Helper program is stepping up. That's next right here on RTV6.
On select models.
Welcome back. Still don't have your flu shot? Well, Community Health Network is offering 2 free flu shot clinics this week. Both are at Community Hospital East in the main lobby. The first is tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And there's a second with the same times on Thursday. The shots are free to anyone 18 and older while supplies last. The flu has already claimed 3 lives in Indiana this season, all in people 65 or older.
Metro Police want to make sure safety is on your mind while you do your holiday shopping.
The department's North District is kicking off off its Holiday Helper program to keep shoppers, stores, and residents safe near the busy 82nd Street corridor and other shopping centers. IMPD is increasing patrols in the area. Officers will be checking out cars to see if shoppers are following safety guidelines by locking their doors and hiding valuables. If they see a vehicle that's a target for theft, they will leave behind a flyer.
This kind of serves as a reminder of saying, hey, you know, you left these items visible. It takes only a matter of seconds for someone to break into your vehicle, and we kind of try and redirect their behavior.
Community relations officers will also work with stores to address their concerns about things like lighting. Metro Police say the number of vehicle break-ins rises during the holiday season, especially in retail areas.
Umbrella tomorrow. If you have that in your car
already. A lot
already.
of people making the move downtown tomorrow.
Yes, so I do think there'll be some showers around for those that are down for red for Ed. Red for Ed. Okay. Education. It sounds weird if you think of like Ed, the person. All right, temperature 57 at its warmest. Not tomorrow, but later in the week.
All right, that is it for us.
We'll be back at 11.